Good evening, New York City and my listeners around the world. This is your host, Elizabeth Tripp. You're listening to Nourish the Soul via Gotham Podcast Studio here in New York City. I'm so excited to be here sharing my words of wisdom and allowing all of you to go on a journey of self-exploration with me this evening. I'm a light worker and energy healer who lives and works in New York City, and I absolutely love to shift people's perspective of themselves and allow for them to really find breakthroughs, to really discover their own limitations, and to begin to step out of what holds them back from leading their best life. It's what I do for my full-time job, my private practice, and the special thing about my work is I love to invite spirit in to work with us as I tune into your energy and your spirit guides, and I'm able to then really guide you very powerfully to get to the root of what's imbalancing you, what's really keeping you from reaching your dreams powerfully and successfully. So I've designed this podcast so that you can begin to tune in and get what your soul is looking to receive from my work. It's an opportunity for us to begin to start to shift your perspective, start to begin to transform your thinking, because the way you think really impacts the way you feel, and the way you feel determines your behavior in life, and it really then creates a reality for you. And I'm here as your high-level coach to start shifting your reality into an alignment with what you want and you so desire. That's what I love, love, love to do, and I like hitting the easy button when I do it, and empowering clients to really see their life in a whole new way. So, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. It is March, and it's so exciting because March is friends and family. So tonight we're continuing the discussion on family. We're really looking at our family dynamics, our challenges. We're going to dive deeper into boundaries. Yeah. Boundaries with family. Who has those? I'm sure plenty of you do, but I'm sure that there's plenty of listeners out there who are looking or seeking more understanding of boundaries, something that they're wanting to better understand for themselves. So this is a powerful discussion, and one that's really going to hit home for a lot of you. So the cool thing about March, if you're tuning in, is that when you refer me a friend or a family member, you actually get a $50 credit and one free session with me. And so this is valued at $400, and it's really only available throughout March. So it's something that in the next 2 weeks is going to end. So if you want to earn some extra time working with me, or if you want to, really give the benefit of what you've been learning with me to somebody else, then I want you to take action on this and head over to my website. It's nourishthesoul.nyc, and click on the services tab and send this information to a friend or family member. So take action, share me. And if you're tuning in, I'm also live on Facebook. It's elizabeth.tripprd, and you can find me there on Facebook and see my live podcast. Or you can tune in on iTunes and Stitcher and Spotify and Google Podcast, and you can download this podcast every Friday. The episodes usually air in the morning time, and they are available to you, okay? So let's get really started into tonight's podcast. Let's get rolling into boundaries. And hi there, Alyssa. It's nice to see you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, if you enjoyed tonight's podcast, make sure you share it. It helps spread my message. But I'm so excited to have you on the live. It's great to have you. So we're going to get started. And I posted a video earlier this week, and what I was talking about in the video was, talking to anybody who struggles with family, and being able to say no. How easy is it for you to say no to your family? And whether your family is, just you, your mom, your dad, and your dog, or if it's you, your girlfriend, boyfriend, or, other family members like your brothers and sisters or your grandma or your grandpa, how do you find it difficult for you to put your needs in front of theirs? And do you find it a struggle? Are you struggling to, you put 100% into your family's needs, and, you give your all to make sure that they get happy or they feel happy. And as a result, at the end of the day, you get left feeling, tired or drained or upset because they've gotten angry or upset with you when you want to say, hey, I can't do that, or I can't listen to you. And you begin to try to set a boundary and they don't like it. How many of your family members like it when you start to set boundaries with them if you've been used to not setting boundaries with them? So we're going to cover all those bases today. We're going to really help you kind of start to sink deeper into tonight's podcast with this. And I'm going to help you start to see that when you feel tired and you feel angry and you feel upset and you feel like, you've been taken advantage of, what things do you do to make yourself feel better? So that's the bigger question. Last week we talked about triggers and what happens when we get triggered. Well, sometimes, a trigger can also be that we're unable to actually say no to somebody, and that can cause us to feel maybe overwhelmed or, nervous or anxious or scared or fearful because we think, oh, well, if I don't, say, yes to them, then they might be upset with me. They might get, they might want to not let me see them, or they might, not talk to me. And so what do we do at the end of the day when we're always saying yes to everybody to make ourselves feel better? Because I imagine we don't probably feel all that great. We don't have all that much time for ourselves, right? So do you grab that beer and do you pour that glass of wine, or do you go for that sweet and savory snack and just that one time to make yourself feel better? Or does it happen, habitually over time? And does it become a daily habit for you? And if so, how is then saying yes to everybody, particularly in your family, empowering you to look and feel your best? How is it really empowering you? And is there some sort of limitation you may be then experiencing that's putting a cap on how healthy you can be with yourself? The work that I do is about accessing this ultimate well-being that we have within ourselves. Right now, we have it. It's just the funny thing about the mind, it likes to trick us out of thinking that we do. But hey, guess what? You've got a coach here that is going to actually help you break through the mind's monkeyness and really help you see what's available to you right now. And that's me. Okay, so thank you for tuning in and listening to this. So as a light worker and spiritual energy healer, I'm ready to help you discover the deeper soul level of these challenges with your family. And I believe that in life, we are actually experiencing it through the soul's journey. I believe that life is what our soul needs to experience in order to learn and grow. So there's, such beauty in our existence because it's an opportunity for us to really sink deeper into who we truly are and on multiple levels and through lots of different avenues, whether that be body or food or relationships or family. It's just incredible. So the thing that I've realized, and something very powerful and beautiful over the last few weeks, and something that's always been a part of my practices, is that there is no separation between ourselves and the universe. There is no separation between ourselves and the universe. And you hear great, spiritual teachers like Deepak Chopra. Yeah, he talks about that all the time. And he has a lot of talks on Instagram about it. And you hear, great teachers like Louise Hay. She, used to talk about the oneness with the universe. And, what I really experienced was this really beautiful meditation. And I want to tell you guys a little bit about it, and share with you what I experienced these past few weeks, about this oneness with this in higher source energy. It was just so beautiful. So a few weeks back, I was called to lie down and go into meditation. And as I fell into this meditation and my mind just, shot out into the universe, I was guided to follow this really beautiful golden light. And what I saw next was just so amazing. I was pulled into the heart of the universe. And there I felt so limitless, so weightless, so infinite, and so incredibly powerful. And this golden light wrapped all the way around me, completely engulfing me. And I knew I was home. And here the message was just so strong. You are not separate from the universe. You are one with the universe. What a powerful meditation that was for me. And I can tell you that the weeks preceding this, I have literally seen a huge transformation in my energy. And I'm still on this high from it. I still feel like I'm flying from the experience. It was just so beautiful. And I can tell you that since then, I've really been integrating this beautiful source energy, this magnetic and powerful golden light that I felt into the work that I'm doing with my clients, and really amazingly into the podcasts that I've been creating. So each one of them is just so delicious and so beautiful and so purposeful for those who tune in. And it's a really incredible feeling. And I just feel like I'm about to, I'm on the brink of something really beautiful. So in tonight's show, I want to invite all of you to really sit back and relax and open your heart, open your mind to shifting your perspective on family and boundaries and well-being, okay? That's what tonight's show is going to be about. So as we kind of bring ourselves into center here and get prepared for the show to really begin for ourselves, I want us to all just take a nice big deep breath, letting out anything that we carry with the day, anything that caused us any stress, anything that's given us any anxiety, and just letting it all go so that we can receive tonight's message with an open heart, with clear energy, and the ability to really take away something powerful for ourselves. Because I create these podcasts with the intention that anybody who tunes in, that they are going to get something really special for themselves. So here's the intention. My heart is open. My mind is open, and I'm ready to hear what it is that I've been called to this experience for my higher self. And I'm ready to to really dive into this experience. So this is all in divine timing, and we're going to begin. So this is boundaries and family. So I want to start off by really asking you guys, is it possible? Okay, so now that we're starting to sink into this and we're letting ourselves go, letting ourselves ride into the podcast, is it possible for your family to grow? Okay, is it possible for your family to grow? And we mean grow like mentally, grow emotionally. You know, we always want to see our family in some way evolving, right? We don't want to see them stuck. So is it possible for your family to grow when you say no, when you practice saying no to them? And would you believe me? Would you believe me if I told you that practicing no actually empowers your family to really expand and evolve on their journey while also improving your health and well-being? So this is really interesting. And do you guys think this is possible? Do you think it's possible? And feel free, thank you, Mike, for sharing the video. Feel free to, join in on the live if you're listening and ask me any questions or ask me anything that you're thinking. I really want to know more about what you guys think about boundaries and families. And let's look at this question. And, I polled on Facebook and Instagram today before we went on. And I said, is being there for your family truly helping them? Is being there for your family and truly helping them mean that we always have their back no matter what? And so I asked that question out to the live audience before I went on today. And surprisingly, I know I've been working with a lot of you who tuned into the podcast and worked with me privately, but 66% of you said no. Okay. So we are not truly helping our family members or being there for them, doesn't mean that we always have to have their back. And 33% of you actually said yes. So there's still a significant number of you out there who really truly believe that being there for your family means that you have to 100% always have their back. And interestingly, I did a podcast on this over the summer, and we can replace family with friends. So we can say, is being a good friend mean that you always 100% have to have their back? And maybe that's a little more trickier for you. So you can replace that with friends and start to stretch yourself and see, do I feel that, in a friendship, I always have to be there for somebody? So let's look at this. Is it true? Is it true that we always have to be available for somebody when they have a problem, when they have something going on, when their life seems to be pulling us for advice and seeking our support? Does it mean that we 100% have to have their back? Because are we holding a boundary at all? And how do you feel when your friend or family member who seems to be always going through a tough time? I mean, think about it. Think about people right now who are in your life who always have something going on. You could probably think of a handful of people, in particular in your family, I'm sure, and in your friendship circle, I'm 100% positive. There's always somebody who has something that is occurring for them. And, whether it's a relationship problem, whether it's a boss problem, whether it's a financial problem, they call you and they seek your support and advice and your shoulder to lean on, maybe a place to stay, maybe money to borrow. And how does that make you feel? Initially we can feel like, oh, they need me. And it feels so good to be wanted. And it makes me feel good thinking I can help them, right? We can initially feel like that. But then it's like, time after time after time, we're kind of listening, we're giving support, we're sharing what we think they should do to get out of the situation, because ultimately we want to see them get better, right? Ultimately, we want to see them, evolve and move past this limitation. Yet they always seem to have something going on. They always seem to have something happening in their life, and they keep coming to you, and you keep answering their call, and you keep giving them things in hopes to, oh, maybe this will make them happy. Or if I just share one more, couple more sentences about how you can handle the situation like this. And if I give them that $100 check just that one last time, I know they're going to get it together. So, okay, we're starting to get now really present to the situation. And I want to again ask you, how does that make you feel? How do you then start to feel if initially the sort of that I want to help them feeling kind of, dissipates, and now are you feeling really calm and relaxed when they call you? Do you feel powerful and in control, or do you start to feel like, oh man, how am I going to help them? Or, they're always asking me for help. They don't even ever ask me how I'm doing. They don't ever, I can't remember the last time they asked me how I was, feeling. Or maybe you're starting to say, I feel like I've been doing a lot of support for them. And I just don't know how to help them. I really want them to be happy. So what happens to your energy here? Can you hear the worry? Can you hear the anxiety? Can you hear the upset? Can you hear the fear of what might happen to your friend or family member? What you start to think in your mind? And can you hear all of this chatter inside yourself? I just want to see them happy, and I wish they could figure this out, and maybe if I just do this one thing one last time, then they'll get it. And can you see that when you feel this way, when you worry in this way, you actually are creating more stress for yourself? Can you hear the stress inside your mind? And what do you think that then does to your body? So when you're having all this chatterful conversation, all this worry about a friend and what choice they're making and how they're actually solving their problem, and, what they're eating or what they're doing with their money, or, why they're in this bad relationship and they won't break up with this person, yet they're so miserable and they talk about it all the time. What do you do then to make yourself feel better? Because now you're totally engulfed. You're a part of it. You're now in the experience, even though you're not the one in the experience. You're not in the bad relationship. You're not in the bad boss, relationship. You're not struggling with money. You're not, having a hard time in your life. And all of a sudden now you are. What? I bet you guys didn't even realize that. Holy cow, when I really think about it, wow, my mind races when I'm trying to really think that I'm helping my friend. So in these moments, is it where you find yourself in these limiting behaviors with yourself? So you're obviously having some sort of stressful conversation. And whenever we're experiencing stress, it is limiting. It's actually turning off the valve of health within us. And it's turning off our connection to source energy and the ability to hear and think and see the situation clearly. So we're moving farther away from what we want and really actually now manifesting a reality where we're creating more stress, more problems, more heaviness in our life, all because we're not setting a boundary with our friend or family member. Wow. So, alternatively, thinking about it this way, are you truly helping your family member or friend if you are always there for them, if you are always there for them. If you're always saying yes to somebody and you're always giving in, what are they learning about you? Okay, so let's look at that. What are they learning about you? And is it empowering them to really actually get out of the limiting situation that they're in? Are you really helping them begin to step out of this situation, or are you really enabling them? Wow, I think about that. And I think that word enabling is so powerful. I mean, listen to the definition: to make possible, practical, or easy. Think about it this way. Imagine you live your life making it possible, practical, and easy for a family member or friend to stay stuck in their own mud. Imagine how good that would make you feel at the end of your day. Does that bring joy for you? Does that bring happiness for you? Does that bring, are you sharing a true love for that family member or friend? Is that truly loving somebody? Is that really empowering them to be their best version of themselves, to really see the deeper soul lesson that's at hand for them, for something that they're needing to learn and experience and grow from? I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't want to be on my last day of my life and think that I made it easy, possible, and practical for a family member or friend to lead a life that they didn't deserve. And I know I crafted that really well. Just think about that. So I'm a storyteller, and I like to tell stories. So I want to tell you guys a story that's going to help illustrate this. And thank you all for tuning into the live. If you are tuning in, you enjoy the show, please share it. I really enjoy when people can receive my message across the world. It's been so exciting to see my podcast grow. So I want to tell you guys a story, okay? So this story is not too far long ago, I myself have been there and done that in much of my life. Again, I don't call myself this transformational coach or, enlightened spiritual teacher without being able to walk the talk with all of you guys and to show you that I've been in the trenches and I've been down in the dumps and I've had the lowest of lowest moments. And these moments are actually my driving forces for one of, many of my most amazing lessons. And I wouldn't take back any of them. So the story starts in early 2017. Yeah, it was only 2.5 years ago. And I can remember when I felt so scared and so afraid. It was my first month of opening my business, my practice. And back then it was called True Nutritionist Light Body Healer. I remember that. And, it's only recently that I had rebranded. But yeah, I'd started my practice in New York City and, I had this beautifully decorated office. And I was wondering, while I was sitting there and I was feeling so afraid, so scared, I was wondering, what's going to happen to me? What's going to happen to me? I have $400 in my bank account and I have a $3,500 rent bill due. I've never had this big of a bill due in my entire life. And I'm looking down at my client schedule and I have 2 clients in the week and all my other days are completely empty. And I have no one scheduled for the following week. And I think to myself, how in the world am I going to make it? And these tears start streaming down my face, and I'm feeling this pressure, and I'm feeling a panic, and I just can remember my mind is scrambling. And I thought, well, I will just call my mom and dad. I'll just call my mom and dad, and they'll help me. They have always helped me financially throughout the years. They paid for my cars, they paid for college tuition, they helped with rent, they, courses and certificates. I would just kind of tell them, and I'm going to do this new thing, but I need $500 for it. And, it's going to be my big thing, and it's going to get me big. I know it's going to make me money. And I persuade them to think that if they just give me this check now, that I won't ever ask them again for any more money. But I always went back because I knew that I could persuade them, because my parents didn't have very strong boundaries, especially being the youngest, and especially me having more one-on-one time with them. It was often very difficult for them to set a boundary with me. And so I thought, okay, I can call mom and dad, and they'll help me. So I remember I mustered up the courage, and my dad answered the phone. He said hello, and I said, Dad, Mom, I have something I need to ask you. I really need money. I don't know how I'm going to pay my $3,000 rent, and I'm just so scared, and I don't know what to do. And I remember there was a long pause. There was a silence. And I remember my dad, taking that, and I can remember like yesterday, he said, Liz, your mother and I cannot help you. We are just not in the position to be able to give you money. You'll need to figure this out. And I remember feeling like my heart was going to drop, and I sank to the bottom of the floor, and a huge part of me wanted to cry, and then there was another part of me that wanted to get mad, and then there was another part of me that just wanted to fall to the bottom of the earth and disappear. What did I get myself into? But instead, at this point in my journey, I had begun to really uncover so much about myself. So I was hearing all this, and I just knew I had to walk away. And so I said, okay, Dad, I understand. And I remember hanging up the phone, and I felt like I literally wanted to disappear. My parents had said no. They weren't gonna help me out. And I was gonna have to do this all on my own. And, looking back on that experience today, I am so, so grateful for what my parents did for me, because they continued to say no. And still to this day, for the amount of scary moments that I've been in, I have never asked them to help me out after that. I've never really truly said, again, I really need that help, because for the first time ever, that, they held a boundary with me, and I couldn't wiggle it out of them. And looking back, if they had said yes to me, it wouldn't have served me. It wouldn't have served me, because I used to never have, let me correct myself, I used to never have a very positive relationship to money. I was very, very careless with my money relationship, and Spirit needed me to actually learn this quickly, because I was about to go into a business venture on my own. So them saying no to me actually began a very deep, big lesson surrounding money for me, and my value, and my trust in source and the universe and the creator. And my parents saying no to me, I know, was so hard for them, because it's historically very difficult for my parents to say no. They are, they they're on their own journey of learning boundaries. And let me tell you, growing up, that's why I did a lot of drinking and smoking and, things that I partied like, because I didn't have any boundaries. I could be home when I wanted to. I could, do what I kind of wanted. And they were very lax and relaxed with me. So this was a whole new ball game for me. And this working through this very limited behavior with money and this belief that, I wasn't going to be okay was a huge challenge for me. And so now 2 years later, I have a thriving practice, an incredible trust in the universe, and a deep belief I'm going to be taken care of, that I'm going to be okay, that I'll be financially stable, and that I am financially stable, and I have a sound mind and a sound body and a sound soul, and I feel the best I ever have. And that boundary really opened up this opportunity for me to really find the trust within, find the belief within, and create a well-being as a result. If they had just given me the money, then, it would have satisfied me for a short term, but I would have still been terrified the next time the bill came around, and I would have still been so worried the next time I had to make a payment on something. And little Elizabeth would have definitely showed up and, done the drinking and the eating to soothe herself. She did that all the time. That's why she had maxed out credit cards and a very unhealthy relationship with money. So I believe in my heart, I chose my parents to actually help empower me to evolve. And they truly helped me there. Although humanly, it felt really difficult for me. It felt challenging. It actually truly helped me. So in this story, can you see that there is a great power in saying no, particularly to family and to friends? It can actually help them sit in what they're currently experiencing, what's currently limiting them, and really then allow them to find their own strength, their own trust, their own belief, their own oneness with the universe. Because look where I am today, talking about this incredible meditation, this euphoric experience of where I was just so engulfed in light energy, and I have no worries in the world. And it's so cool. And so I'm so thankful for that challenging moment. And I love how life presents us with so many tools to experience ourselves. The pain, the joy, the happiness, and that if we don't hold boundaries, we do a disservice to our friends and family because we keep them in a limiting experience for themselves, and we don't truly allow them to move through the waves of life and experience the ebbs and flows and evolve just like we truly want them to. We desperately, truly desire to see them in that way. So tonight, what I want you to see is that if you want to break away from limiting behavior with your family, if you are starting to realize that boundaries are a struggle for you, that you struggle with them with friends and family, I am ready to help you. I am ready to truly take you to the next level and start allowing you to see the benefit of saying no while we look at the deeper soul level of why you're experiencing what you're experiencing with family, why you're having this trouble, why it's impacting your health in a negative way. And I can help you reach your goals. I can help you transform your body. I can help you transform your well-being while actually shifting your whole relationship with your family in a more positive way. So I know this sounds like something you want to do, so I want to invite you to check out my website. Actually, I want to invite you to go to my website. It's nourishthesoul.nyc and click on the service tab And that's where you can set up an appointment with me. It's just that easy. You get access to my calendar. You can see when I'm available. You can actually choose the date and time that works best for you. And you're all set. That's it. And we can start this incredible journey of looking more deeply at ourselves and the ever exciting opportunities that await you when you actually start to open yourself up to the spirituality of our existence. How cool. All right, guys, I am all set tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for all who tuned in on the live. And be sure to spread the word, share Nourish the Soul. I have some really exciting engagements coming up in the next few weeks. Going to be hooking up with some really cool people, so I can't wait to share this all with you. So love and light. This is Elizabeth Tripp signing out.